Hi there, and welcome to this episode of Write With Me at IELTS Juice. As you can already see, it's an essay today that we are going to plan for and prepare our sentence arrangements. Here's the rubric. It is sometimes possible to pay somebody to do things you don't want to do or don't have time to do. Let's before I go ahead and read an example, let's just say there are elements here. Two main elements. First, you don't want to do these activities, or you want to, you don't have time. For instance, you really want to cook at home for yourself, but you don't have time. You have to give money to a restaurant or a delivery service to bring food to your home. Or you don't want to. You don't like vacuuming your house. You don't like tidying up your place. You don't like doing the laundry. You don't like taking out the garbage. Okay, but you have to. So there are two different things. These are activities at home that you either don't have time to do or you don't want to do those activities in the first place. Let's be clear here. Now, why did I say home? Let's read the examples now. For example, household chores or looking after children. Now, there are candidates out there that they believe. We have an example, okay, but now I can talk about, for example, my job here. Let's say there are things that at my workplace I don't want to do. Can I delegate this task to somebody? I pay them to do this job for us. I need to stop you for a second and I want you to think. So let's come closer and listen to me. If a rubric at IELTS gives you an example, yes, it is an example, and yes, it is there to help you, with some ideas. If you approach IELTS, if you ask them why there is an example in the rubric, they might say, well, it's just we want you to write more, talk more, write more sentences in your writing or talk more in your speaking. That is just a little bit of push. IELTS wants you to write and give more words and more sentences. So it's for IELTS, it's good that they receive more words from you. That is correct, but not 100%. That's part of the accurate information, because by giving an example, IELTS tells you, okay, here is a little push. Go ahead and write. That's correct. But at the same time, IELTS wants to check if they give random examples, and of all the examples IELTS could think of, they came up with these two. IELTS would like to see if you can stay on those two examples and come up with a good, presentable, professional looking essay. Now, what I'm saying right now is that this type of rubric is designed for higher scores. Now, you might not want to get a 9 or 8 at IELTS. I totally understand. If you don't want that, you're fine. You see an example, you can say something else. You can talk about your workplace. You can talk about a family trip or camping holiday, or something you don't like. For instance, visiting a distant relative that you don't like. Those things are fine. You can still get a very, very good score. No stress for you. Done. But for those who wish to get a 9 or a higher score, not a higher than 9, but 8 or 9, There you go. This is a limiting factor. This is the IELTS's way to check if they can give you the best possible score by giving. IELTS just chose random examples, but the random example gives you a chance to show off your range of vocabulary and grammar, and IELTS will understand that, oh, these were random, but this candidate came up with this beautiful response, deserves the highest score possible. Anyway, enough me talking. Let's move on to the questions. I see two questions. They are two completely different questions. They are not opinion essay related, advantage, disadvantage, cause, effect, nothing. This is a two-part question, two very normal questions, and both of them are yes/no questions. I can read and say the answer is yes or the answer is no. Or maybe something in between if you wish to just complicate things and get a higher score. Anyway, in the first question we read, is this a good way of providing work for others? Now, it's a clear question, like, hey, is this a good way to create jobs? Like you have household chores, ironing, doing the laundry, taking out the garbage, I don't know, dusting, tidying up, and you just pay people to do these things, and yeah, you get you're creating a job here, or maybe at least one job, maybe two people. So you may want to hire a chef to do the cooking for you as well. Anyway, that's one. The second question says, should people do these things themselves? Again, yes or no. Should you do all these activities? Like, as for taking care of the baby, you need infant care. You don't need to hire someone for infant care. You can do it yourself. You look after your baby. You need to take your baby to the playground. You need a nanny to look after the baby. Yes, or maybe no. You want to do it yourself. All these elements that I just said depends on your answer. You can say yes, you can say no, or you can say depends. And you know me, we have two questions. They are separated by a line. To me, that's not for beauty. You know, it means from the IELTS perspective that we need to devote at least one paragraph to each. It's a very, very, very bad idea to mix them, because you can mix these two, but you will have a lot of complications at hand, and I am not sure we have that level of writing capability to come up with a proper response. Anyway, my arrangement would be to come up with an attention grabber. An attention grabber, I think, something along the lines of, the rich usually ask nannies or maids to do their work because their time is valuable, and many of these tasks can be done by other people so that they can save time and earn more money. That would be a very good attention grabber. And then you need some connecting info. In the connecting info, I would like you to acknowledge the fact that these tasks are things that you don't want to do in the first place, or you want to do them and they're fun, but you don't have time. Acknowledge that. In our case, again, rich families do not want to waste time taking out the garbage when they can just pay someone to do that, because their time, every minute of their time, is super valuable. Or they would like to spend time with their children, but why do so when you have an expert who can teach your children every single thing you want them to learn. And you basically can monitor the education. And finally, you have a thesis statement. And the thesis statement says you write one sentence by saying it is a good way of finding job for people, or maybe you believe it's not a good way for creating jobs for other people. Second one, should people do these things themselves? And you might say the answer depends on your social level. It depends on your income. And I would like to see both sentences here. As for the first IELTS question, is this a good way of providing? You need to say, if you need to make a statement whether this is a good way or it's a bad way. I need a topic sentence, and you decide whether it's a good way or a bad way to create jobs. I believe it's a good way. It's me. You don't have to follow this. You can write it's a bad way. And you need to come up with some reasons for that. But here we are, the topic sentence. And it says providing jobs, and you need to support that. You need to come up with reasons why you believe that's a good reason. It's why it is a positive thing. Talk about it. Say it's good because you will hire a nanny or a maid or a chef, or maybe a tutor. Maybe you wish to teach your daughter or your son some piano lessons. If they're infants, you need childcare, and you need to become an expert. So you've got to be certified. There are many people who are certified. You can be a parent, but you are not a certified tutor. So this is an expert's job to do all this. You may even talk about hiring a babysitter. If it's not an infant but a baby, you need a babysitter to look after the baby all the time. Everything you can just talk here. You realize that my examples are all in line with the instructions that IELTS gave me. I am not going away, and I'm not coming up with some random examples here. I want you to note that. Why 2? You can say 3. The management of this is with you. You can basically control how many reasons you would like to say. But my suggestion is 2, because there are 2 examples. One is childcare, look after the child or children, and household chores. So the housekeeping activities that you may not like to do, or you may not have the time to do so. That's why I said 2, but feel free to add 1. Just make sure it's not just some random example. And the second question, should people do these things themselves? Now imagine they're rich, they have meetings back to back. When they wake up, there are a ton of activities they need to do. Should they do these things themselves? You can argue, yeah, they should. Or you might say, no, they shouldn't. If these people should do these activities themselves, that you believe in that, you can say why you believe they should do these activities. You basically need to come up with some reasons. But my strategy usually says that once we have some words and grammatical structures for reason already used here, let's change it. Let's choose a different strategy, and let's look at it from a different perspective, just to show off our variety in word choice and grammatical structures. So I'm going to say, that's my example. Should these people do these things? No. Why? Because there are certain qualities. These are parents, and they're not expert chefs. They are not dedicated people to cleaning up. They are not certified in childcare, babysitting. So they can ask, or tutoring. They themselves might not know how to speak French properly. French is an example, by the way. So everything here will help. So you ask, an expert's help in that regard. And number two, another quality that it will bring to their lives is that they will safely interact with other people because it's their home. You know, these homes have CCTV cameras. They monitor, so they know what is going on in their homes, but at the same time, they can be sure their child is taken care of, their children are taken care of, the food is exactly what they want to see or eat or taste. So everything is to their liking. Those are the qualities that you can bring to your life, and that is introduced here. Interesting. Again, that's my example. Feel free to change it. Feel free to take the opposite view. Feel free to take a different approach. And I totally understand. What I would like you to do is to change the approach. So it shouldn't be always like this, because. That's repetitive. The first one, you already said it's a positive or negative approach, and you said reasons. Here, talk about the qualities more. And end it by paraphrasing your thesis statement, where you said that this is a positive thing. Like, is this a good way? You said yes, it's a good way, or maybe no. Repeat that. And also, please label, say, based on these reasons, I believe it's a positive, and it brings these two qualities. Again, why two? You already know, because we talked about two different examples at IELTS. Babysitting, and the second one was housekeeping or household activities. If it's not already two sentences, because you can basically make two sentences here, one here, one here, and you will be done. But just for the sake of making a paragraph look like a paragraph and not just one sentence, write another sentence by saying the more people, for instance, become busier at work, the more they devote their time to working hard and looking at things from an expert point of view, many people will be better off asking for help. And in the future, this trend is not going to stop. It's just going to get better and better. All right, we're done. If you wish to see a sample on this essay that is done, scored, and improved, click over here. If you wish to see other videos with a little apple, this one is big though, where we analyze and we plan for our essays, letters, or reports, please click over here. And remember, eat healthy,